Commander Zareth stood in the great hall of the Galactic Council. His 3 eyes scanned the room. Today was special. A new species wanted to join the Council. Their name was humans. They came from a small blue planet called Earth. Zareth held a data pad in his clawed hand. It contained Earth's physics calculations. He smiled. This would be entertaining. The council chamber was massive. 50 different alien races sat in their designated seats. Some had tentacles. Others had wings. A few were made of pure energy. But all of them were advanced. All of them had mastered space travel thousands of years ago. And now these humans thought they were ready to join. Zareth pressed a button. The human data appeared on the giant screen. Numbers filled the display. Equations covered every inch. The council members leaned forward. Then someone laughed. It was a deep, booming sound. Others joined in. Soon the entire chamber echoed with laughter. Humans had only left their planet 50 years ago. Most council races took 5,000 years to achieve that. Humans were babies. They were children playing with toys. How dare they apply for membership? Zareth cleared his throat. The laughter died down. He spoke in a mocking tone. His voice carried across the hall. Honored council members. These humans believe they understand physics. They claim to have mastered the fundamental forces of nature. They say they can split atoms and harness energy from the stars. More laughter erupted. A 6-armed creature slapped its knees. A floating jellyfish being shook with amusement. Even the serious stone-skinned delegates cracked smiles. Zareth waved his hand dismissively. I will assign my junior scientist Krell to review this data. It should take him mere minutes to dismiss their application. We have more important matters to discuss today. He turned to leave the podium. This was beneath him. 400 years of military service. Countless battles won. And now he wasted time on primitive apes who just learned to use rocket fuel. Krell sat at his station in the back of the room. He was young, only 70 years old. This would be good practice for him. Krell opened the first file on his terminal. His yellow eyes focused on the screen. He began reading. 30 seconds passed. Krell's confident expression changed. His eyes went wide. His skin turned from green to pale white. His hands started shaking. He looked up at Commander Zareth. His voice cracked when he spoke. Commander, you need to see this. Now. Zareth stopped walking. He turned around slowly. Krell never interrupted him. The young scientist was always respectful, always followed protocol. But now Krell's voice sounded different. It sounded afraid. The council members noticed too. Their conversation stopped. All eyes moved to Krell's station. Zareth walked back across the chamber. His boots echoed on the metal floor. He reached Krell's desk and looked at the screen. What is it? Zareth asked. His tone was annoyed. This better be important. Krell pointed at the display with a trembling finger. Commander, these humans. They use something called quantum mechanics. Look at these calculations. They understand subatomic particles. They know about electrons and quarks and photons. Zareth leaned closer. His eyes scanned the data. His smile began to fade. Most Galactic Council races use basic Newtonian physics. Simple force equals mass times acceleration. Basic gravity equations. Standard orbital mechanics. But these humans, they were calculating at the quantum level. Perhaps they copied it from somewhere, Zareth said. But his voice lacked confidence now. Krell shook his head. He opened another file. No, Commander. Look at this. They built something called a particle accelerator. It's a machine that smashes atoms together. They've been doing experiments for decades. Real experiments. With real results. The data showed massive circular tunnels built underground. Humans called them colliders. They accelerated particles to incredible speeds, then crashed them together, just to see what would happen, just to understand the building blocks of reality. Zareth's throat felt dry. What else? Krell's fingers moved across the keyboard. More files opened. They discovered how to split atoms, Commander. They learned to break apart the nucleus. And when they did, they released enormous amounts of energy. A council member stood up. It was Elder Thrawn. She was 800 years old. She had seen many civilizations rise and fall. Splitting atoms? For what purpose? Krell looked at her, then back at Zareth. His next words came out as a whisper. Energy commander. They used it for power plants. But also for weapons. The chamber became completely silent. No one moved. No one breathed. Weapons from splitting atoms. That was restricted technology. Only the most advanced civilizations possessed such knowledge, and they never used it for war. Never. Zaretha's hands gripped the edge of the desk. His claws dug into the metal. Show me their weapons data. All of it. Right now. Krell's fingers hesitated over the keyboard. He did not want to open this file. But Commander Zareth was waiting. The entire council was watching. He pressed enter. The weapons data loaded onto the main screen. Everyone in the chamber could see it now. The first image appeared. It showed a massive explosion. A giant mushroom-shaped cloud rose into the sky. The cloud was taller than mountains. Fire and smoke covered an entire city. The date read August 6, 1945. Location, Hiroshima, Japan. Zareth read the description aloud. His voice shook. Atomic bomb. Fission weapon. Yield 15 kilotons. Casualty count 80,000 immediate. Total deaths 140,000. The council members gasped. Some covered their mouths. Others looked away from the screen. But the horror was just beginning. Krell opened the next file. Another mushroom cloud. Another destroyed city. 3 days later, Commander. They used a second one. Nagasaki. Another 70,000 dead. Elder Thrawn stood from her seat. Her voice was barely audible. They used two? On their own kind. Zareth scrolled through more files. His hands moved automatically. His mind struggled to process what he was seeing. The data showed human development of atomic weapons. From first test to deployment, it took them only 4 years. 4 years from theory to city destroyer. Most alien races took millennia to develop such technology, and when they did, they locked it away, made it forbidden, swore never to use it. But humans built it and used it immediately, on themselves. Look at this, Krell said. He pointed to a timeline. They achieved industrial revolution in 1760. By 1945, they had atomic weapons. That's only 185 years, Commander. Most council races took 5,000 years to reach this point. Zareth felt something he had not felt in centuries. Fear. Pure cold fear. These humans were not primitive. They were not slow learners. They were incredibly fast. Dangerously fast. They evolved their technology at terrifying speeds. A young council member spoke up. His voice cracked. Maybe they learned their lesson. Maybe after using 2 bombs they stopped. Krell pulled up another document. He wished he could say yes. But the truth was worse. Much worse. He looked at Commander Zareth, then at the council. His next words made the entire chamber freeze. Commander, there's more. They didn't stop at atomic bombs. They built something far worse. Zareth felt his blood run cold. Worse than atomic bombs. How could anything be worse? He forced himself to speak. Show us. Krell opened a new file. The words at the top read thermonuclear weapons. Hydrogen bombs. The screen filled with technical diagrams. Fusion reactions. Deuterium. Tritium. Chain reactions that fed on themselves. These are hydrogen bombs, Commander. They use fusion instead of fission. They are 1,000 times more powerful than the atomic bombs. Some are even stronger. The number appeared on screen. 1,000 times more powerful. The council chamber erupted in chaos. Delegates stood from their seats. Some shouted in their native languages. Others simply stared in disbelief. Elder Thrawn collapsed back into her chair. Zareth gripped the desk harder. His claws left deep marks in the metal. How many did they build? Krell did not want to answer, but he had to. At peak production, Commander, humans possessed over 70,000 nuclear weapons, both atomic and hydrogen combined. 70,000. The number hung in the air like poison. 70,000 planet-killing devices, created by one species. pointed at themselves. Zareth scrolled through more data. His eyes caught something called the Cold War. Two human nations built weapons for 40 years. They aimed them at each other. They came close to using them multiple times. By accident, by miscommunication, by fear. Look at this section, Krell said quietly. He opened a file labeled Nuclear Winter. Humans created mathematical models. They calculated what would happen if they used all their weapons. The result was total extinction. All life on Earth would die. The planet would freeze. Nothing would survive. A council member spoke from the back. His voice trembled. Why would they calculate their own extinction? Because they wanted to know, Zareth answered. He finally understood. They wanted to know exactly how close they were destroying everything. So they did the math. They ran the simulations. They stared into the abyss and measured its depth. Krell opened one more file. It showed current nuclear arsenals. The numbers were lower now, but still thousands remained. Active. Ready? Waiting. Elder Thrawn stood again. Her ancient eyes were wide with terror. She looked at Zareth, then at the screen, then back at all the council members. Her voice cut through the silence like a blade. If they can do this to themselves, what would they do to us? No one answered Elder Thrawn's question. No one wanted to think about it. Zareth felt sick. His confidence was completely gone now. These humans were not primitives. They were something else entirely. Something dangerous. He looked at Krell. Is there more data? Krell nodded slowly. Yes, Commander. The theoretical physics section. I saved it for last. His fingers moved across the keyboard. New files opened on the main screen. The first document showed equations about space and time. A human named Albert Einstein wrote them in 1905. The theory of relativity. Zareth knew this theory. The Galactic Council discovered it 800 years ago. But humans found it over a century ago, with primitive equipment, with basic mathematics. They understand time dilation, Krell explained. They know about black holes. They calculated how gravity bends space itself. All of this from a species that barely left their planet. More files appeared. Humans theorized about wormholes, about faster than light travel, about parallel universes. Some of their theories matched classified Galactic Council research that was restricted to only the highest level scientists. Zareth saw something that made his heart stop. A file about antimatter. They know about antimatter. Yes, Commander. And they created it. In their laboratories. Small amounts. But they did it. They actually made antimatter and contained it. The council members whispered among themselves. Antimatter was the most dangerous substance in the universe. When it touched normal matter, it caused total annihilation. Complete conversion to pure energy. Only 5 council races had ever successfully created it. And humans were doing it in university labs. Krell opened another section. Look at this, Commander. Humans discuss something called relativistic weapons. Objects accelerated to near light speed. They calculated the impact force. A single small projectile moving that fast could destroy a continent. Zareth read the calculations. They were correct. Perfectly correct. Humans understood the devastating power of kinetic energy at relativistic speeds. They wrote papers about it, published them freely, shared the knowledge with anyone who wanted to learn. How long have they had these theories? Zareth asked. Over 100 years for relativity. 50 years for antimatter research. They've been refining this knowledge for generations, Commander. Suddenly, Krell's terminal beeped. A new message arrived. It was marked urgent, marked personal. The recipient line read Commander Zareth. The sender was from Earth. A human scientist named Dr. Sarah Chun. Krell's voice barely worked. Commander, they sent you a message. A personal one. Zareth stared at the blinking message icon. His hand moved slowly toward the screen. He pressed it. The message opened. It was short, just 3 paragraphs, written in perfect galactic standard language. He read it aloud so the entire council could hear. Dear Commander Zareth and honored council members, thank you for reviewing Earth's application. We understand our development seems unusual. We learn physics through necessity, through survival. We split the atom because we were at war. We built bombs because we feared each other. We created weapons of extinction because we are a young species still learning to control our own nature. Zaratha's voice grew quieter as he continued reading. But we also built hospitals with nuclear medicine. We powered cities with atomic energy. We launched space telescopes to see the birth of stars. We used the same knowledge that could destroy us to heal us instead. We calculated how to end all life on our planet, so we would know exactly how to save it. The final paragraph made Zarath pause. He had to steady his voice before speaking. We do not seek your approval, Commander. We seek partnership. We seek friendship. Because the universe is vast and cold and full of mysteries. And we have learned the hard way that survival requires cooperation, not isolation, not mockery, not fear. We hope you will give us a chance to prove ourselves. Respectfully, Dr. Sarah Chun, Chief Physicist, Earth. Complete silence filled the council chamber. No one moved. No one spoke. Zarath slowly closed a message. He turned to face the council members. His 3 eyes met theirs one by one. I recommend immediate acceptance, he said. His voice was firm now, clear. Any species that can hold as much destructive power in their hands and choose peace deserves our respect. They weaponized the atom, and then chose hospitals over bombs. They calculated their own extinction, and then worked to prevent it. They are dangerous, yes, but they are also wise beyond their years. Elder Thrawn stood. I vote yes. One by one, every council member stood. Every voice said yes. Unanimous decision. Earth was accepted into the Galactic Council. Zarath sent a reply to Dr. Chun. Just one sentence. Welcome to the galactic community. We have much to learn from you. As he closed his terminal, Zarath noticed one more unopened file. The label read Human Biology and Adaptive Capabilities. He clicked it. His eyes went wide. His mouth fell open. By the stars, what are these humans? 7. Zaratha's hands shook as he opened the biology file. Krell moved closer to see the screen. Other council members stood from their seats. They sensed something big was coming. Something that would change everything again. The first section loaded. It was titled Human Evolutionary History. Zarath began reading. His voice grew weaker with each sentence. Humans evolved on a death world. Earth has extreme temperature variations, deadly predators, poisonous plants, natural disasters, disease, starvation. Yet humans survived it all. Krell pointed at a subsection. Commander, look at this. Humans are endurance hunters. They can run for days without stopping. Their prey animals are faster, but humans just keep chasing. They chase until the animal collapses from exhaustion. Then they kill it. A council member gasped. Most civilized species were ambush hunters or gatherers. But humans were persistence predators. They hunted by never giving up, by refusing to stop, by outlasting everything. Zarath scrolled down. Their healing ability. Look at this. Humans can recover from broken bones, torn muscles, damaged organs. Their bodies repair themselves. They have something called an immune system that learns and adapts. The data showed human recovery rates. Broken leg bones healed in weeks. Cuts sealed themselves in days. Even damaged livers could regenerate. The council had medical technology that could do this. But humans did it naturally. Their bodies were built for survival. Pain tolerance, Krell read aloud. Humans can function through injuries that would incapacitate most species. They produce chemicals called endorphins that block pain signals. Some humans have run marathons with broken feet, fought battles with mortal wounds, continued working with serious illnesses. Elder Thrawn's voice trembled. What kind of evolution creates this? Zarath found the answer in the next section. Earth is classified as a Class 12 death world. Gravity is higher than 80% of habitable planets. Oxygen levels are toxic to most species. The weather patterns are violent and unpredictable. Humans evolved in constant danger. Their bodies adapted to survive the impossible. More data appeared. Human temperature tolerance. They survived in frozen Arctic regions and burning deserts. human pain resistance, human adrenaline response that gave them temporary superhuman strength, human ability to function on minimal food and water. Zareth looked up at the council. His face showed pure shock. His next words made everyone understand the true terror of humanity. We didn't just accept survivors into our council. We accepted apex predators.